A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic turn of events, former FBI Director James Comey is fighting back against the criminal charges leveled against him, claiming significant procedural errors in the grand jury process that could potentially invalidate the case. Comey, who has been indicted on 2 counts, lying to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding, filed a motion in federal court in Alexandria, Virginia, seeking to dismiss the charges based on what he describes as fundamental errors made by the prosecution. The crux of Comey's argument hinges on the assertion that the inexperienced prosecutor, interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan, failed to secure the necessary approval from the full grand jury before proceeding with the indictment. This claim raises serious questions about the legitimacy of the indictment itself, as Comey's legal team contends that the grand jury actually rejected the only indictment presented to them by Halligan. Comey's defense lawyers have pointed to a troubling pattern of misconduct surrounding Halligan's handling of the case. They argue that her rushed actions to secure an indictment were driven by political motivations, particularly given the timing of her appointment just days before the indictment was issued. In their motion, they emphasize that the prosecution's approach violates Comey's Fifth Amendment rights, which protect against self-incrimination and ensure due process. The case has garnered significant public interest, not only due to Comey's high-profile role in the FBI, but also because of the political implications it carries. Comey has maintained his innocence, pleading not guilty to all charges. His defense team has emphasized that the errors in the grand jury proceedings are so severe that they warrant dismissal of the case outright. U.S. Magistrate Judge William Fitzpatrick has also weighed in on the matter, identifying what he termed a disturbing pattern of profound investigative missteps during the grand jury proceedings. In a separate hearing, Judge Fitzpatrick noted that Halligan made 2 statements that could be interpreted as fundamental misstatements of the law, potentially compromising the integrity of the grand jury process. One of Halligan's statements suggested that Comey did not have a constitutional right to refuse to testify at trial, while another implied that the grand jury was not limited to the evidence presented to them and could consider additional evidence that the Justice Department might have. These remarks have raised red flags among legal experts and observers, who are questioning the validity of the indictment based on these alleged missteps. The Justice Department, however, has defended Halligan's actions, asserting that her statements were appropriate and that the grand jury's proceedings adhered to legal standards. They have urged that the grand jury transcript, when read in full, would demonstrate that there was no impropriety in Halligan's presentation. Adding another layer of complexity to the case is the evidence used in the grand jury presentation. Judge Fitzpatrick expressed concerns that much of the evidence presented against Comey was obtained from a previous investigation involving Daniel Richman, a law professor and friend of Comey. The materials seized during that investigation were described by Fitzpatrick as the cornerstone of Halligan's case against Comey. The judge noted that the FBI had revisited the materials seized over 5 years ago without obtaining a new warrant, raising questions about the legality of using such evidence in the current case against Comey. The Justice Department has countered this argument, asserting their commitment to following the law and maintaining grand jury secrecy. As this legal drama unfolds, it is clear that the stakes are high for both Comey and the Justice Department. The former FBI director, who has been a polarizing figure in American politics since his tenure at the Bureau, is now facing a critical juncture in his battle against what he claims is a politically motivated prosecution. With the potential for significant legal precedents to be set and the implications of this case resonating far beyond the courtroom, observers are closely watching as Comey's legal team prepares to argue for the dismissal of the charges. The outcome of this case could have lasting repercussions on the intersection of law and politics in the United States, particularly in the context of prosecutorial conduct and the integrity of grand jury proceedings. As the legal proceedings continue, both sides are gearing up for what promises to be a contentious courtroom battle. Comey's defense will likely focus on the alleged procedural violations and the political motivations behind the indictment, while the prosecution will aim to uphold the validity of their case and the integrity of the grand jury process. In the coming weeks, as the legal arguments unfold, the nation will be watching closely to see how this high-profile case develops and what it may mean for the future of accountability and justice in America. Will Comey be able to successfully dismiss the charges against him? Or will he find himself facing trial for the allegations he vehemently denies? Only time will tell as this legal saga continues to capture the nation's attention. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.